guys! Today I'm going to review another James Bond film, and this one's called Thunderball. Thunderball came out in 1965 and is the fourth Bond film. It's the third and final film to be directed by Terence. He previously did Dr. No and From Russia with Love. It's based on the 1961 novel by Ian Fleming, which in turn was based on the original screenplay by Jack Whittingham, devised from a story conceived by Kevin McClory. Thunderball was planned to be the first film in the film series, and it's associated with a legal dispute. McClory and Whittingham sued Ian Fleming shortly after the 1961 publication of the novel, claiming it was based on the screenplay that the trio had written together. The lawsuit was settled out of court, and Broccoli and Saltzman, featuring a McClory film, allowed them to retain certain screen rights to the novel's plot and characters. And this is the reason why he could do a spin-off film in 1983, Never Say Never Again. It was edited by Peter Hunt and Ernest Hosler, music by John Barry, and Tom Jones sang the title song. Originally they were going to have Shirley Bassey sing the title song, Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but it was realised too late in the day that the track was too short for the needed titles, but instead they got Tom Jones. The film runs 130 minutes. It cost $9 million, more than the previous three films. However, it made a staggering $141.2 million back, one of the most successful Bond films ever. And according to inflation, it's one of the most successful Bond films ever made, with some polls saying that Skyfall's just ahead of it. The film won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects for John Stayers. Ken Adam won a BAFTA Award for Best Production Design, and the film was the third highest grossing film of 1965, just behind The Sound of Music, Dr. Zhivago. It was also filmed in a different film ratio, giving it a wider look. Film stars Sean Connery, Claudine Auger, Adolfo Celi, Luciana Paluzzi, Rik Van Nutter, and the regulars Bernard Leazam, Lewis Maxwell and Miss Moneypenny, and Desmond Llewellyn as Q. And this is all about Spectre that steals 2 atomic missiles. A Spectre agent steals 2 atomic bombs from a NATO plane. James Bond is assigned a mission to recover the warheads and put a stop to the evil plans of the criminal organisation. So Thunderball used to be my favourite Sean Connery Bond film. However, watching it this time I had mixed feelings about it. And my thoughts have changed about the film. It's not my favourite Bond film anymore. This is partly to do with how good From Russia with Love and Goldfinger were when I last reviewed them 2 films. They're far better than this one. And I used to wonder why Bond fans had a problem with this film. They used to go on about the underwater scenes. There's too much footage underwater. And watching it this time I have to agree with that. It does slow the film down. And watching it on Blu-ray, although the picture's great, it seems to have extra footage actually. And I'm not sure, but I think some of that footage is more underwater footage. It's also an uncut version of the film. When you see Bond at the beginning of the film when he's attacking this guy and he uses a poker, when it's screened on the telly, the neck break sound, it's cut out. But on the Blu-ray you hear the crack when he breaks the guy's neck. I like that. I like when films are fully uncut. But although I'm critical about the film now, I still like it. I don't dislike the film. It's just the underwater footage slows it down. One good thing about the film is it definitely looks bigger and more epic than previous films. And a lot of this has to do with the film ratio. It's more stretched along. So it's one of them flat long ones. You get more in the frame of the picture. So you're able to make bigger shots when you're filming. But it gives it a more epic look. And right from the beginning, when you say the title sequence, where you say the theme song, which is a really good one by Tom Jones, but the title sequence is really good as well, with the screen ratio, it improves it. And with this title sequence, it's underwater, And the colours are effective as well. You get the blues and then the reds, which emphasises blood. So it's a really clever title sequence. I think it's one of the better ones. And it's a big improvement over the previous 3 films. Their title sequences, they were all the same. There were the credits over women dancing. So from Russia With Love and Goldfinger, you had the credits over this woman's body. And they weren't really that good, to be honest. But this one, it's the start of the really good title sequences. And that's one of the best things about the Bond films, watching the title sequences and the theme music. And the public seem to like this film. It's one of the most successful films of the Bond series. According to inflation figures, I think Skyfall's just ahead of it. So that's amazing, really. It's probably to do with the success of Goldfinger being so popular that audiences wanted to go and see the next film. Also, these films were made just a year apart. So I think that helped influence the audience to go see the Bond films. And it was the start of Spy Mania, where other film companies wanted to do spy films and TV shows as well. So everyone went crazy in the mid-60s about spies. So Thunderball, Sean Connery is excellent as usual. He still looks young and fit, and he goes with tons of women.
Ravishing redheads. Bronze brunettes. Honey blondes. The Bond women 007 style.
Yeah, that bloody James Bond's a lucky twat. All them bloody beautiful young women he bloody shags. Bloody oldish looking fella. It's only a film, Bones. It wouldn't happen in real life. It's also good in action sequences. And there's lots of spying in this film where he's sneaking around looking. He has that catwalk that Connery's good at doing, where he's light on his feet. It's very effective. However, I wish he was given more acting moments. There's a good scene where he's talking to Domino, telling her about the death of her brother, so he puts these dark shades on. It was a little subtle thing, but I thought it was really effective. He didn't want to show emotion.
What happened?
It's a long story, and it involves your friend Largo.
There's also a great scene where he's in this spa and he's on this like a rack thing, stretching his body. But one of these enemy agents puts it on full blast. And he's really panicking in this scene, yelling his head off. I thought that was a really good moment as well. But there's not enough of these moments. He's mostly just fighting in action sequences. But it is a Bond movie, I suppose. But I would like to have had a bit more emotion to his performance. So he's not as good in this film as he was in From Russia With Love or Goldfinger. So the film has some stunning Bond girls. Domino, this French girl, she's really bonny. You get the woman who's working in the spa, she's fun. But best of all is the villain, the female villain in the film. She's a great character. It's a pity she gets killed off though, sort of halfway through the film. But the scenes that she's in are really well done. So it was interesting having a female who was a villain.
Bond, who only has to make love to a woman and she starts to hear heavenly choir singing. She repents and immediately returns to the side of right and virtue. But not this one.
Hey, Phil, them lefty bloody woke buggers will be offended by this film. They get bloody offended by bloody anything. Bet they get bloody offended by their own bloody arseholes.
Oh my.
One of my favourite scenes in the film is when you say the unseen Blofeld. So it's the same guy who was in From Russia With Love. The same voice as well.
2,000,003. Our expectations were considerably higher, number 11.
Competition from Latin America. Prices are down.
I anticipated that factor.
And it's so effective when he's hidden. So you hear his creepy voice and you see a guy get electrocuted. So it's quite a powerful scene. I wish he was in more though. Them scenes when you see Blofeld, unseen Blofeld, They're some of the best scenes in the Bond series. However, the major villain in this film's Largo. And although he's okay, he's not the larger-than-life villain that you need in a Bond series. When you compare him to the previous Bond villains, Dr. No, Red Grant, Goldfinger, Oddjob, he doesn't compare to them. When you watch a Bond film, you want a villain who's larger than life, like Goldfinger. So he didn't really work. He came across as a little bit bland. Rik Van Nutter, who plays Felix, he was good. He's actually one of the best Felix. So his chemistry between him and Sean Connery are really good. You can get the impression that they're friends. And of course all the regulars are back, Moneypenny and Q. I especially like the scene where Moneypenny's mentioning M, and she calls him the old man. M overhears because he's behind her, and he bollocks her. I thought that was a fun scene.
On the old man, but I know better. I can...
So do I, Miss Moneypenny. And I'll thank you not to refer to me as the old man.
And of course Q's here, and there's quite a few gadgets in this film actually. However, although the film has good points, it is a beautiful looking film. The underwater footage does slow it down. However, the epic fight at the end, the underwater epic fight, that's really well done. But if I was the director, I would have held back the underwater footage for the final. Because when you're watching the film, you see so much underwater footage that it loses its effect towards the end of the film when you see this epic battle at the end. They should have withheld the underwater footage until then, and it would have made a hell of an impression. And you have to think that audiences in 1965 watching all this underwater footage was almost new to them with the camera techniques. So it's one of them films that I used to really love. Watching it this time, it was a bit disappointing. So it's gone down in the estimation. But I still think it's a great film. It's a good Bond film. It's sort of like top of the second tier type of films. So out of 10, what would I give it? Before I would have definitely have given it a 10 out of 10. But now it's dropped down, so I'll give it an 8. 8 out of 10. What did you think, Bones? Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was good film. But you can't beat good old Roger Moore.
Okay, everybody, bye. Like, subscribe and share. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.
He must have followed us.
I think you got the point.